visit www.imamhusseincharity.com. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh and Ramadan Kareem. The Imam Hussein Charity will be running its food basket campaign again this year, giving you the opportunity to help destitute and impoverished families throughout the whole of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each food basket contains essentials such as rice, flour, dried lemons, tea, fruits and vegetables, oil, tomato paste, dates, and much, much more. Each basket is £25 and can feed a family of 4 for up to 10 days. You can feed a family of 4 for the whole of Ramadan for only £75. You can donate via bank transfer, PayPal, or visit us at www.imamhusseincharity.com.
With more and more
dear viewers, and welcome to Imam Hussein Charity on Imam Hussein TV, where we are fundraising for the orphans, the widows and the less fortunate in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now yesterday, mashallah, we had so many calls, we had so many donations coming through, and inshallah today we want to get more. We want to reach our target, inshallah, of £5,000 in this segment, and inshallah £5,000 in the brothers segment coming up next. I believe we can do it. With your help, inshallah, we can change lives this Ramadan. I'm your host, Shahr Al-Ramadan, and today with me is Sister Ruqayya. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
As I was speaking to you, on the way here in the car, I was saying that, having iftar, we had iftar together in someone's house today, and just seeing the food on the table, it just makes you feel like, how is it that there's some people around the globe that's suffering?
Yeah,
and it really breaks the heart.
Yeah.
And inshallah this Ramadan we can make a change, and I think shows like these, charities like these, which are fundraising for the less fortunate, we've seen the work, we've seen the videos, we've seen the great work that's being done. Inshallah we can make a difference today.
Yeah, as we were talking yesterday, like some people don't even have access to clean water. And in Afghanistan alone, which is one of the poorest countries in the world, is actually 15 million people have no access to clean water. And that really struck me because if we say 15 million people, that's like the population of Norway and Sweden put together. That's how much people don't have access to water, clean water in Afghanistan.
Absolutely. Just as a reminder for all those watching, that the number is on the screen if you would like to call in, if you would like to donate. Please do call in, the number is on the screen. To call into the studio is 0203 515 0199, and the WhatsApp number is on the screen as well. So even if you're international, you can call us free of charge. We want to hear your voice, because as we saw in yesterday's show, as we saw that once someone calls in, it kind of sparks this this trail of calls coming in after, so you can be that inspiration. Your words can inspire others to then call in and donate. So please do call in, the number is on the screen, the brothers are waiting at the studio, and please donate. So just as a reminder that the donations are coming through.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a great start to the program.
absolutely. The donations are coming through, and so far we have £75, we have £30, we have another £75, and we have another £75. So we have only been on for a few minutes, and so far we have £255 that have come through.
That's amazing. And yesterday we had so much young callers, and I'm really hoping today we'll have the same, because when you get young callers, it's such a big inspiration, and that they were raised to give. Because a lot of people yesterday that called were like, we're giving our pocket money, and that was really nice. Like, instead of buying something else, they thought, let's give it to charity. And as we said yesterday, it's only £1 a day to feed someone for this charity. So it's like £30 for the whole of Ramadan, and it's £1 a day.
Absolutely, and £1 makes no difference.
Yeah.
You know, going and getting a chocolate from the shops and a crisp will be £1. But let's watch a quick video. I think let's do that. Let's watch a quick video to see the excellent work that's being done, and inshallah we'll be back in a few seconds. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few seconds.
كورونا صار لي 8 أشهر يوم التاريخ 20/8. صارت مفاجأة والله مفاجأة، يعني هو بالعيد كل شبابي والله 6 بنات خلوا ورا، بس غير واحد هذا لا عنده معين، لا عنده واحد اللي يساعدني. والله صعوبة، والله العظيم صعوبة، يعني هذه كل لحظة الأمور عالية، يعني ما حسيت بفراغ يعني حيل، يعني وين كنت وين هسه، يعني كلها بنات 6 بنات عندي، وأصغر واحد هذا وواحد عمره 15، يعني لا يتحمل مسؤولية، لا يتحمل مسؤولية بيت، يعني شو يريد يسوي والوقت هذا الصعب. بعد الوقت هذا الصعب، والبنات يعني خاص البنات، يعني البنات صعبة، هسه لو عنده واحد كبير معين مثلا اللي يجيبن أكل إلهن، والله العظيم يعني ما يعني شو أوصف لك. أنا طالبة من الله وأهل البيت يعني وأهل الرحم وأهل الخير، يعني يكون عينهم على الأيتام هاي اللي أطلبه من عندهم.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. That was a heartbreaking video. It was an absolutely heartbreaking video of a lady who, she has 6 girls, she has 6 daughters, and she has 1 little boy. As we saw that she said this young boy cannot take the responsibility of bringing food to the home, cannot have the responsibility of providing for the family. And that's what happens in many of these families and many of these widows. It's the young boys in the family, the responsibility falls upon their shoulders to provide for the family, to go out and provide for the family. And these are young boys, these are young children. Exactly, they should be in education, they should be looked after rather than having that burden put on top of them for them to provide.
Yeah, seeing that story is just very, very heartbreaking, and the fact that she has so many children and none of them probably go to school, none of them, when we saw her daughter cry, that really, really broke my heart, because at that age, no child should be thinking about how are they going to eat, what are they going to eat, how is their parents going to provide for them. If it's £50 to sponsor an orphan for a month, and that can make a huge difference, because most of these children don't have any education at all, are not going to school. As the woman said, like, she has only 1 son, and that's too much for him to provide for the family, and 6 girls as well.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility. The donations are coming through. We have a total of £555, mashallah, since we started the show. So another donation of £25, another donation of £25, another donation of £75, and another donation of £75, which makes a total of £455. So it's absolutely amazing. Let's talk about the £1 donation. £1 a day can feed someone iftar.
Yeah, for iftar. And like we said yesterday, if you think about your spending and you think, okay, maybe I can't give that much, but give whatever you can. I mean, like £1 a day is feeding somebody else, and in this country, it's not really much for most of us, but it can make a huge difference in somebody's life abroad. in Afghanistan or in Iraq. And Afghanistan is actually one of the poorest countries in the world, and I didn't know that before. It's actually on the top 10 of the poorest countries in the world. And I think about 80% of the population depend on humanitarian aid. And without your help, they wouldn't be able to survive.
Absolutely. It's a little goes a long way, and no amount is small. And we know that it is the act of giving that will be multiplied, especially in this holy month of Ramadan. We saw the donations come in yesterday, and mashallah, now the donations are just pouring in as well, mashallah. But we can do more. With your help, we can do more. As we said, the number is on the screen to call into the studio. It's 0203 515 0199. That's 0203 515 0199.
And there's also a WhatsApp number if you're living abroad and you would like to call in. I mean, we would love to hear your stories or anything you have to say. We had loads of calls yesterday, and it was very inspirational to hear everyone's story and why they want to donate. And a lot of people thank this channel. And not a lot of channels do Afghanistan, if you think about it. So, I mean, there's so much poverty in Afghanistan. I'm so glad that Imam Hussein TV have covered this, because this Ramadan they want to build water wells in Afghanistan. And it's 1,500 for, or 700
a water.
For a water well,
1,500, for a water well.
And that sometimes we think, okay, water is such a big issue. Like we said yesterday, wudu, they could, it's for cooking, for cleaning, they can plant things. It makes such a huge difference. A lot of these women are carrying water for 3 miles, that's an estimate of 3 miles, of 20 liters of water, and they probably take their kids with them. So imagine having a water well in your community in these countries will make a huge difference.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's as we said, I feel like giving, the act of giving is a blessing. Whoever gives is a blessing from Allah, because not everyone gets that tawfiq to give. And in many times when we find ourselves in a situation where we must give, it's absolutely, it's a blessing within itself.
And that's what one of the callers said yesterday, that when you said to him, God bless you, he said, what did he say? He said it's actually a blessing for me to give, something like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. The donations are coming through, as we said, and this shows the generosity of the community. I think especially in the holy month of Ramadan, it's a month of giving, it's a month of generosity, and it's beautiful to see that the community have come together to give, and it's that community atmosphere, because the Muslim Ummah is one Ummah. And this is what I think many of us forget, is that we are one body. The whole of the Muslim Ummah is one body. When we see one part of it in pain, we must come together, unite together to try to remove that pain, to try to help. So in terms of seeing poverty, in terms of seeing orphans, in terms of seeing mothers who are struggling, this is something which none of us should want to see. This is something which we should all come together, especially in the holy month of Ramadan, to try to change. Let's talk about Iraq, because especially I feel like when we go to visit Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when we go to visit Imam Ali alayhi salam, the father of orphans, we go to visit them and we remember them and their attributes and their characteristics. And one of their main characteristics is helping the orphans, but yet we see surrounding their shrine children begging. And that is something which I think it's a shock for whoever goes the first time, but it should be a call to action. It should bring us together to really make a call of action to try to remove that.
Yeah, and in Iraq it's actually 2 out of every 5 kids that don't have access to clean water, and most schools don't have access to clean water. So that's a huge number. If you look at the population of Iraq, I mean, 2 out of every 5 kids don't have access to clean water. I mean, there is so much we could do, and it's so easy to do it. You can just go on the website, you can call in. We'd love to hear your stories. It's so easy to give now.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see behind us, it's some of the homes that people live in, and one of the packages is shelter, because sometimes when we go to Iraq, I remember I went to Iraq, and honestly there was a lady that was living in someone's back garden. So she was living in someone's back garden. She had made this kind of tent with bamboo sticks, and it was shocking to see, because even in the heat, there was no protection, and then in the cold there's no protection. So as we can see some of the living conditions, we can see behind us some of the living conditions of of the orphans, the widows, they do not have a proper shelter. They don't have a proper roof on their head. And with the shelter, and I really do recommend people to donate towards the shelter, because you then could help improve someone's living condition. And especially in Iraq, when it's sunny, when it's summer,
really hot,
it's summer. You know, you could die because of the heat. So seeing that shelter package is something that we should all
imagine that heat and not having access to water, and not having any food. I mean, now it's Ramadan, we all get hungry. We kind of sense that. And if you put yourself in that situation where you don't have, you try to imagine that you don't have a roof over your head. I mean, none of us can manage that. So we really have to do as much as we can to help those in need in both countries, in Iraq and in Afghanistan, because there are millions of people who don't have access to water, don't have education. And Iraq is actually, I think, 65%, if I remember correctly, of the population is under 25. And a lot of people don't go to school or don't have the opportunity to go to school. And with such a young population, I think education is one of the things that they really, really need.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the sponsor an orphan for £50 a month is actually a really great thing to do.
Absolutely. It's talking about education. It's one thing to help those who are in poverty in terms of providing them food, water, drink. That is one aspect of it. But to provide education is breaking the cycle. So if you just help and give food to those who are in need, that is one part of it. But when you provide education, not even education, when you provide, for example, even you know, I would say counselling for many of the trauma that these young children have gone through, have been through war, they have seen tragic deaths in their family. So what we need to do is, when we talk about erasing poverty, it's not just to donate towards providing someone with food, but in terms of getting these children and these families in a state where they are able to sustain themselves. And many of this aspect is education. It's providing them with, you know, for example, the medical needs, and all these, or many of these packages will provide and help towards getting people self-sustained. So
because
I think
when you sponsor an orphan for £50 a month, you are giving them that whole package that they need to succeed in life. So, and £50 a month is not, like, even if you can't give that yourself, you can do it with your sister, you can do it with your friends, even the water well, which is good because that will provide a community water for a long period of time, possibly forever. So even if you can't donate by yourself, just gather your friends and families and just all chip in and donate together.
Absolutely, yeah. We can see some of the great work that's being done with the donations that have come through for shelter. And it's really has helped many people have a home, not even something that you would say is luxury, but just to have a home, a functioning home that they are able to go. So just to remind all the viewers at home, the numbers are on the screen. We'd love to hear from you. Please do call in to the studio to speak to us, to donate. Perhaps you have a story, perhaps you visited many of these orphans and widows and you would like to share your story, or you can call the WhatsApp number on the screen if you are international or free of charge. And there's also a donation number. Please do call in if you're watching today. This is a sign. This is a sign to call in, to donate, and to really help those who are in need. And many of these packages, we will not even see that amount of money come out of our pockets. But yet, the change and the positive impact it will have on many people's lives is great.
And the more you give, the more blessings that will come. And one thing we didn't touch on, Zahra, was the medical. Because I think it's so hard when you have someone in your family who has cancer or has any medical condition and you cannot provide for them, or you cannot help them, you just watch them suffer. I mean, in these countries, in the UK or other countries, when you have something, you just, the person goes to hospital and they get all this treatment. But in countries like Iraq and Afghanistan, a lot of people don't have that. And I think it's so hard to see somebody suffer in front of you and not get any medical treatment. So that's also a very important package, I think, if somebody is thinking to help someone this Ramadan.
Absolutely, yeah. I believe we are going to a brother in Iraq who will read out the names of those who have donated. So many of the donations that has come throughout the show today, and the donations that have come before, we will go to him once, inshallah, they are ready for us in Iraq. So we will go to him and he will read the names of those that have donated. So anyone that donates, you will be in our prayers. We will read your name. If you have a a name of a marhum, a family member that has passed on, we will read their names both in the holy shrines and also pray for them. And that comes to another thing, that many people can donate on behalf of someone that has passed away.
That is the best gift to give your marhum this Ramadan, is the gift of charity.
Absolutely, yeah. It's I think especially in the past 2 years, it's really come to our attention, these two things. Number one, medical, and number two,
medical.
It's many people have passed on. So let's go to the medical, because medical, I feel like, especially during the time of COVID, we saw a lot of, for example, me and you were in and out of hospital visiting others, but we were in and out of hospital, and many times, believe it or not, the hospitals in the UK didn't have available beds, and you know, even if someone was in dire need of help, there was not many beds available. But I will come back and talk about the medical. We have a call on the line, so inshallah, let's take that call and come back. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shahr and I'm calling from London.
MashaAllah. How old are you?
11.
11, MashaAllah. Welcome to the show. Ramadan Kareem to you.
Ramadan Kareem.
What would you like to say to all those watching?
I would like to donate £10 of my pocket money to the poor.
MashaAllah.
Imam Hussein TV.
MashaAllah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. May God bless you, MashaAllah. I want you to say some words of motivation, because I believe that you are the first caller of today and you will inspire others to call in, believe me. So what would be some of your words of inspiration for everyone watching?
I would say for people to donate to the poor how much they can.
Yeah.
Because we want to help out as much as we can.
That is a beautiful message. MashaAllah. God bless you. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you so much for calling in. May Allah bless you and bless your parents, inshallah. And you know what? The amount of reward you just got for just calling in and donating that pocket money, you will see that reward come in your life and in the hereafter. And the Ahlul Bayt will be very, very proud of you.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I absolutely love it when we get a young caller, because it's so nice that their parents have probably told them so much and to give. And if you teach your kids to give, that's such a blessing that he thought, okay, let me give my pocket money to charity instead of buying something else.
That is absolutely beautiful. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And with that, we have other donations coming through. We have £100 that has just come through. We have another £20 that has come through. And we have another £100 that has come through. MashaAllah. So since the start of the show, which has been 23 minutes, we have a total of £675. MashaAllah.
That's amazing.
MashaAllah. Let's even double that. Let's double that.
Or triple that.
Or triple that. More than triple that, because we said that yesterday and it was tripled.
It was, yeah.
Let's triple that, inshallah, in today's show. Let's go to Iraq, where they will be mentioning some of the names of our viewers that have donated, inshallah. So let's go to Iraq, to our brother Ali, who will be calling your name out in the holy shrines. Assalamu alaikum, brother Ali.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to land of Imam Hussein. Welcome to land of Al-Fadl Abbas. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Rasulullah. As you know, we are on the holy land of Ramadan, on the holy month of Ramadan, the holy month of God, holy month of Rahmah, holy month of giving and helping other people. At this month, there are many people waiting to receive your donation, your sadaqah, your help. There are people that just been feeding once a day, and each meal costs them like £1. So if you like to help the orphan family, if you like to help the poor family, there are a family, they don't have enough clothes to wear. When they want to go to the shopping, when they want to go to the school, they hire from their neighbor or from their friend to go to the school. I've seen some people, some kids, when they want to go to school, first they wait for their older brother. When he come back, they can borrow their baggage, their book, and or their clothes to can go to the school. I've been seeing a lot of family that they are desperate. They don't have enough money. They are needed to your support. It's only £1 a day. Doesn't matter how much you want to spend. Doesn't matter how much you want to support. Every amount is countable. Especially here in Iraq, there are people, they don't have a right accommodation to stay. They don't have right place to stay. Only you can help on this month, the month of Allah, the month of God, the month of Quran. Help them, support them through this program. The people are waiting. You want to pay for the iftari, go ahead. You want to pay for the food basket, go ahead. Now is the time, and I'm personally from here, inshallah, anyone who will donate through this program, I personally going to write your name and recite the ziyarah inside the shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. One of the greatest a'mal on the holy month of Ramadan is the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. So write your name on the list of Zawar of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Let's be a Zair of Imam Hussein on the holy month of Ramadan by donating to these people, by donating to this cause, inshallah. I will go inside the shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. I will recite the ziyarah on their behalf, and I will send your name inside the Darih of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. What do you want better than that? What do you want? Just help them, support the people in Iraq. There are people, they don't have money to buy enough meal. They only have one meal like for iftar. So they sleep today. They don't feel they are hungry until the next day. This is how the situation for some family, for the orphan family, for the needy family. So alhamdulillah, we had many donors through this program. Inshallah, I will read their name, and inshallah I will recite the ziyarah on their behalf. I got Imran Khoja, Tabsim Sheikh, Tabassum Sheikh, Ali Astar, Sabuni, Zainab Fallah, Muhammad Zafar, Nalim Rafiq, Miqdad Muayyad, Rubab Al-Lawati. Inshallah, I will recite the ziyarah on behalf of you, and especially on behalf of your marhumin, your parents, the people that they not with us anymore, but they are waiting to receive some a'mal, some thawab. They want to be rewarded. They can't do anything. Their hand is tied. So they wait from you guys to do something for them. Inshallah. Sallallahu alayk ya Abu Abdullah. Sallallahu alayk ya ibn Rasulullah. Sallallahu alayk ya ibn Amir al-Mu'minin wa ibn Sayyid al-Wasiyin. Assalamu ala al-Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein wa ala awlad al-Hussein. وعلى أصحاب الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل عباس، يا قاضي الحاجات. السلام عليك يا ساقي عطاشا كربلاء. السلام عليك وعلى السيدة زينب. السلام عليك وعلى السيدة رقية ورحمة الله وبركاته. If you want to your name mentioned on this ziyarah, do donate, do support and help the orphan people, help the needy family. As they told me, any family that you will donate and you will support them, they will pray for you here in Karbala, inshallah. So do donate and share this message to your family and friend, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairah and ya Ali Madad.
Yeah, Ali Madad. Thank you so much, Brother Ali. And as the audience has saw that Brother Ali is live at the holy shrines. So he is reading your names out live at the Holy Shrines. Whoever has donated, your names will be passed on from the studio to Brother Ali, and he will mention your name at the Holy Shrines. We will not forget you in our du'as. Not only that, you will be the answer to the orphans that are in need. And that is the biggest blessing within itself, when you become the answer to many of these that are in need. So please do call in. Please do donate. We've had a beautiful call from someone that was 11 years old that has donated from their own pocket money. And this is an example for us all, that anyone watching today can give towards the orphans. Be that inspiration, be that change that we want to see. Many times we talk about change, we talk about the conditions of many of these individuals, but then we can be that change. We can be their answer. So inshallah, please donate. We are here for the next about 19 minutes only. So let's do our best, inshallah, to raise the funds for the orphans, the widows and the vulnerable. Let's go to a quick clip, inshallah, and we'll be back with more.
Meet Abu Hassan, the father of a martyr who left behind a widow and a number of orphans. His son, Hassan, was brutally killed by the criminals of ISIS, and since then, his life and the life of his family took a turn for the worse.
خابرت الساعة 7 قال لأبويا صار علينا تعرض. قلت له أبويا دير بالك على التعرض، نخبر هذا الأمر خلنا خابرنا. بعدين خابرت الساعة 8 انقطعت المخابرات منه. يوني الصبح المنطقة كلها تدري، أنا ما أدري. يوني الصبح قالوا سيد حسن استشهد. من استشهد؟ بعد احنا صار بيهم. الساعة وياي بن سعيد للمطار مال المثنى بغداد. استلمته هو ويا 7 من أهل كربلاء. كلهم قطوا من رؤوسهم بالعلاليج. كلهم استلمناهم وجبناهم. هو الكبير، هو راعي البيت، وهاي اطفال خلاها عندي. بعد شلون حالتي تصير؟ تدرون بالحاله ايش يصير بك بماذا؟ تعبت هواي. هذا شفتي وينه؟ بالجمعه يعلن اعلان يروح لابوه للقبر. وينوشون القبر، انا مصور وياه، ينزلون صورته ويحبونه. كل جمعه يروحون له. كل جمعه يروحون لابوه.
Ever since his son died, he has been struggling to take care of his younger son and his orphaned grandchildren. Abu Hassan is an old man with a number of illnesses, which means he's unable to work. Like many other families of martyrs, Abu Hassan's family have no financial support and are left to face the challenges of living costs alone, whilst grieving the tragic death of their fathers and children.
مصرف احنا الراتب اللي يجينا هذا راتبه نوفي به البيت، هذا بعد مطلوبين عليه وهو الله يرحمه مطلوب. بعد يعني يمكن 8 ملايين طلب علينا للبيت هذا وش اسمه علينا. انا العام سويت عمليه، انفجر عندي القولون والمعده ومصران اعور. انت بنيتي هاي مرتي الشهيد، والله العظيم هسه انا الم لها بالفريشات بهذه وتفرش البيت هذا بارد الفراخات تلم.
Hassan's death has left a big gap in his children's lives. They were all dependent on him and had a very strong bond with him. The challenges of life and financial struggles they are going through has made them miss their father more.
هاي دائما طلبه، هذا خلاه يقعد، هذا خلاه دايره سنته مقرمات ريلين، واخذته شايله بحضن، شلت نشيط. اخذته الامام الحسين مات الحشد الشعبي، واخذوه للمستشفى، ضربوه بر سوريين لحساب الحشد، ضربوه بر صار زين. ما يسمع ابوه، ما وعد ابوه، من يسمع ابوه، من يشوف ابوه هسه صورة ابوه يشبق عليه، يا ابوك يدي. شوف هنا يا أبوك
حسن
وين حسن؟
ميت.
زين أنا هسه عند هذا الفرخ يجون والله وحق يدي محمد ما أقول لهم أبوي هذا ما أقول له أبوي من يقعدون في ركب يحتاج أقول له قوم عني خاف يتعثرون يتعثر.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back. That was perhaps one of the most heartbreaking videos that we have ever watched. Now his father, their father, was beheaded and his body was cut up. Now this is the trauma that we were talking about before the break, that many of these kids go through major trauma. Their fathers are not only killed, but they are beheaded, they are cut up and their bodies are returned. Now that was the Shaheed's father speaking, and he has taken on the responsibility to look after these children. But with so many children, we can see the Shaheed's picture behind us. It is honestly, these stories are perhaps some of the most heartbreaking stories you would ever see. And sometimes it's hard to believe that this is a reality. This is the reality of some of these children. This is the reality of them. As we saw that their grandfather was speaking, he said that the house is cold. He doesn't have enough to provide for all these children. And their father was the one going out working and providing for these children. And now he's gone, there's no one to provide for them. And this is, Allah has blessed us. I repeat this, Allah has blessed us, Allah has blessed us. If you are watching this program today, you are considered amongst some of the most wealthiest in the world because you have access to technology. And this is one of the statistics and facts that we saw. If you have access to technology and Sky and the internet, you are considered amongst some of the wealthiest in the world. Yet sometimes that stinginess in our heart doesn't allow us to give. For some reason it doesn't, and it's the human within us that sometimes we just don't want to give. We want to keep. Let's give a little, even if it's a little. Let's give a lot, but even if it's a little, let's give a lot. But even if it's a little, let's give whatever we can, because stories like that breaks our heart, and it breaks all of our hearts. It really is truly tragic.
And I think you should donate whatever you can. I mean, today is Friday, and Imam Baqir alayhi salam says when you give charity on Friday, it's considered double. So imagine whatever you give today is considered double. And I think there's so much we can do to help people, and so little of our money, like we say £1 feeds a person a day. It's not a lot for us, but it makes such a huge difference in somebody else's life. I mean, he's left now with so many grandchildren, and he's thinking, how am I going to provide for them? He did an operation on his leg. He probably has his own health worries. He's probably thinking, how is he going to feed himself, let alone his grandchildren?
Absolutely, yeah. And talking of that, we have £300 that has just come
Mashallah.
through. MashaAllah. So that leaves us with a total of £975. We are £25 short of reaching £1,000. Please be that person who donates £25. £25, as we can see on the screen. £25 for a food basket. Donate a food basket this Ramadan. Call in. I want the next caller to call in and say, I will be the one who donates £25, and we can reach our total of £1,000 today.
And we spoke about people who are homeless, and it's just £200 to put a roof over somebody's house for shelter. So that's also something that you could do. And Zahra spoke about someone she saw in Iraq who was living in the backyard of someone.
Yeah.
So people are living in like crazy conditions, and in the cold and the hot, and if we put ourselves in their situation, it is very, very difficult. So do whatever you can. Call the number on the screen, donate. We also would love to hear your stories. We only got one caller today. We're hoping for more.
Absolutely, and the number is on the screen. It's 0203 515 0199. To call into the studio is 0203 515 0199. There's also a WhatsApp number to make it easier for us all that use WhatsApp. It's free of charge. You can call in. The number is on the screen. Please do call in. We would love to hear from you. Be that inspiration for others, inshallah. As I said, we are £25 short of reaching £1,000, and let's reach that in the next 5 minutes. I want a message to come through, whether it's a donation online or someone calling into the studio. I want a message to come through now to say that £25 has been donated and we've reached our target, and let's reach for even more.
Yeah, and we have to be the change we want to see in this world. We can't just sit down and say, oh, we don't want poverty, we don't want people to be hungry, there's so much food and there's loads of people who are hungry. We have to be that change. We have to get up and donate and try to make a big difference. I mean, even if you can't donate, spread the word. Like, post it on Instagram, okay, there's this charity and they're collecting money for Iraq and Afghanistan. That will also make a big difference.
Absolutely, yes. So, inshallah, the packages are on the screen, and I think, you know, many people that have worked with Imam Hussein Charity has seen the amazing work that's being done.
Yeah.
And first we go and visit these families that are in dire need and talk about the conditions of their home and talk about they have no, you know, not even the essentials in their home. And then after we see these donations come through and we see the help being sent, we then get, you know, we go back and visit these same families and we see the major difference in the lives of these individuals. And this is amazing. And while I'm talking, the donations has come through. We said we wanted about £25 to reach our target.
Yeah.
We have another £80 come through,
Mashallah.
another £60 come through, another £10 come through.
That's perfect.
Which makes our total £1,134, mashallah. And just as a reminder, all those that have donated, your names will be sent to Brother Ali in Karbala, and he will read out your names at the holy shrine. So your name will be recited and we will do a prayer for you. But let's try to reach higher than this. £1,134 is not enough. Let's try to reach a higher level. Please do call in. We would love to hear from you, inshallah. The dialysis. So we've talked about many of the medical needs. Dialysis. We've got the medical package, and talking about medical, because I was talking about this before we got the call coming through. Talking about the medical conditions, because many of us never really connected or understood what a medical crisis is, or because, you know, medical aspects or medical the need, you know, is very much readily available for us. But during COVID, we really saw the shortage in, let's say, NHS staff, and we've been to the hospitals many times during COVID to visit others, and we saw how when this is not provided for the public, how devastating it can be. And many people were, for example, in the UK, sleeping on the floor and not receiving the medical treatment they needed. But this is a reality in many parts of the world, you know.
And it's also, there's so much people who have cancer, who have kidney problems, and they never get the help that they can get if nobody donates for them, because like you said, in the UK, it's there, the help is there. But imagine seeing somebody in your family who has cancer or who has kidney problems and in pain in front of you.
Yep, we have about 7 minutes left, but we have a call on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Kareem, and welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Brother Taqi from Portsmouth.
MashaAllah. What would you like to say for all those watching today?
Just to say that it's heart-rending to see all the information you share with us, and as you say, how lucky we are. So just to say, I made a donation today, and inshallah, Allah helps you to make all your targets and to do the work that you're doing be continued, inshallah.
MashaAllah, thank you so much. Thank you, honestly, and you are the answer to many of these orphans' prayers, MashaAllah. Thank you so much. For your last words of inspiration for all those... Thank you so much. And that is the beauty of our community. Sometimes they see clips like this, they see people in need, and they donate.
And that's a good thing with this charity. You can see where your money is going. With a lot of charities you give and you don't see the outcome, you don't see what's going on after you give your money. But with Imam Hussein Charity, you see where your money is going, you see the people that they're helping, you see the videos, you see the stories, and I think that makes you feel much better because you know your money is going somewhere good.
Absolutely. I mean, this brother, may Allah bless you, especially in the month of Ramadan, your good deeds are multiplied. He watched the show. He saw, you know, the state of the orphans that are left behind by their fathers passing away and being tragically killed. And he done the call to action. He called in and he donated, and that is the beauty. May Allah bless him and bless his marhum. In your name, brother, will be passed on to the brother in Karbala as well, and they will pray for you. That's the beauty that we've seen. And as we said, we've been here for what, 40 minutes, and we've raised more than £1,200. Yeah,
that's amazing. I mean, it's like we said before, we said it a few times, but maybe we should say it again. It's £1 a day to feed somebody in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I feel like that is not much out of our pockets. So, but that makes a huge difference in somebody else's life. I mean, we've seen so many stories of, which really, really like made me heartbroken, is when you see widows and they think, how am I going to feed my kids? They haven't got a husband around. I think that's the hardest thing to see, because when you have so many kids, like with our kids, you think about everything in their life, and not being able to provide even food for them, that must be really, really difficult.
Absolutely, it is the widows. The widows break my heart, and because I think sometimes we can envision ourselves within them, and God forbid if anything happened to my husband, I don't think I will be able to sustain my own kids. And I'm living in London, and I've got family, and I'm not living in a war-torn country, and I'm not living in the sense of not living in poverty, but I don't think I will be able to sustain myself and the families. But then yet, I think the widows really break my heart, because we envision ourselves in them, and we see that, you know, that desperation of a mother. You want your kids to be happy. You want your kids to have everything, not even the essentials, have everything. But then I don't know how these women are getting through day to day. I honestly don't.
They depend on this charity.
They depend.
Yeah, like the woman we saw yesterday, she was thanking the charity. She depends on this charity.
Yeah, that's the thing. Many of these widows, they depend on these charities to help them. And we don't realize this, that there's some women that are in, honestly, state of desperation. I went to Iraq and I sat, we done an event, and, you know, there was a lot of widows, and I saw the desperation and how they are really in a state of desperation. They're like, how can we provide for our kids? We just don't know. And it breaks my heart that if anyone is put in a position where, in a state of desperation, that they don't know what to do, that's something that's heartbreaking. And they rely on charities like these. They rely on your donations to even the next day. And the amount of anxiety that these women go through is that they have a huge sense of anxiety, because it's like, what are we going to feed our kids tomorrow? How are we going to do that? So just a reminder to all those watching at home, the numbers are on the screen. We've had some beautiful calls coming today. Inshallah, let's get some more calls. Me and Ruqayya are on just for a few seconds, so please do call in. The number for the studio is 0203 515 0199. That's to call into the studio to speak to us today. We also have a WhatsApp number which we introduced yesterday, which anyone around the globe could call, donate, speak to us. It's as you can see, the number on the screen, 075 1509 5155. That's the WhatsApp number. Please do call in, because your calls does make a difference.
And donate whatever you can, even if it's little. It will make a huge difference in somebody else's life. And also spread the word. Tell everybody in your family, tell your friends, get together. You can even donate a water well, and it could be a few friends of yours who donate bit by bit, but every penny makes a huge difference in somebody else's life.
Absolutely, yeah. Every penny makes a difference, even if, and it's the month of Ramadan. This is a month of giving. It's the, you know, it's
the month you feel it the most, because we are hungry throughout the day. So you do feel like maybe a little sense how these, because they have other struggles as well, not just hunger, but you do feel the sense of how much they struggle.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much, but like say 5%.
No, I think that's one of the beauties of Ramadan. Of course, Ramadan is not just feeling what the poor feel, but, you know, there's many benefits spiritually, physically. But I think one of the aspects is that hunger, which you kind of sympathize towards to those that don't have food and are constantly hungry. And I think when you are hungry and when you are thirsty, remember those that if you are hungry and you're thirsty, you know by that time you're going to have a delicious spread on the table. You're going to be eating and drinking, and you saw how when we were breaking our fast today, we're like, let's just eat. But
it's like when you have Ramadan in summer, everyone's like, oh my God, it's so hot, I'm so thirsty. So imagine you feel like that the whole year.
Yeah. And that's the thing, many of these people are fasting now, and they don't even have food to break their fast. So let's do this. Let's do this. We're here for a couple of days, and we are going to be off in a few minutes. But let's try to, you know what, Ruqayya, let's stay on for another 5 minutes with the permission of the brothers in the back. Let's stay on for another 5 minutes, and we want more donations coming in those 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes now, we're going to extend our segment with the permission of the brothers at the back. But I want donations to come through. Just before me and Ruqayya go off, I want donations to come through. Please do call in. The numbers are on the screen. To repeat, the packages are on the screen. If you can't donate towards any of the packages, just call in with stories.
Donate whatever
Tell
you
us.
can.
Donate whatever you can.
Even if it's £1, £2, it will feed somebody for 2 days, 3 days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So please do call in. We have extended the show for another 5 minutes before the brothers come on. The brothers are waiting in the back, but I want some donations to come through just before we get off. So please do call in. The number is on the screen. Donate towards those who are in need. And talking about this, I think the thing is when we see these children and we see how they are, we were talking before about making them self-sustainable in terms of breaking that cycle. So we talked about poverty, if those were watching before, we talked about helping those who are in poverty, and then we're talking about breaking the poverty cycle. And the thing I like about Imam Hussein Charity is that not only are they providing towards iftar, for example, or providing food or providing a water basket, which is a temporary solution, let's say, it's providing people with food and it's a temporary solution. They're also trying to break that cycle of poverty in terms of
the £50 to sponsor an orphan a month.
Sponsoring an orphan.
Because if you look at the countries that are the poorest, they have the population with the less education. Most people don't go to school, like Afghanistan and Iraq. Most of the children don't have access to schools, or they have to work basically the whole day to provide for their family, and that kind of stops them from going to school.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be what they should be going out and learning every day. Like if you look at your kids, if you have a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, can you imagine sending them off to work?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, it's the water well. So providing a water well in a remote village where there isn't access to clean water. As we said before, there are people drinking dirty water.
15 million in Afghanistan are drinking unclean water.
That's crazy.
15 million. That's the population of Sweden and Norway put together.
That's crazy. And you can tell that you're from Scandinavia by just saying that. But yeah, so talking about the water well, talking about the shelter is quite interesting, because when you provide someone a home, you're not just providing the mother with the home, you're providing the children. That shelter will get passed on, and many people, not only will the mother benefit from that, the children will benefit from that as well, and you will improve their overall living conditions. So the shelter is very, very important. Sponsoring an orphan, I think, imagine if everyone sponsored an orphan. Yeah. If everyone sponsored an orphan,
and there's 5 million orphans in Iraq. 5 million.
Absolutely.
That's also the population of Norway.
That's the population of no, we're going to get Scandinavia statistics all coming in. So final thoughts, Ruqayya, of today's show.
Thank you for everyone who donated, even though we didn't have as much calls as yesterday, but we had so many donations online, and that was amazing. So thank you so much to everyone that donated. But stay tuned, because the brothers are going to come on and keep donating and spread the word.
Absolutely. I think it's been a beautiful, beautiful show. We've had callers come in. We've had a lot of donations online, which has been absolutely amazing. The donations are still coming through. We have a total, I've just sent a message to the brothers at the back, but so far, from what I can see on my screen, we have a total of £1,134. That is absolutely amazing. The donations are still coming through. As we said, we are going to read your names out in the holy shrines. Brother Ali is over there now. He will be reading your names out. We've had some beautiful calls in today's show, and we want to keep this going in the next couple of days. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here not the day after, but the day after that. And inshallah, we will continue to fundraise for those in need. So please do tune in. Every time there's a poster coming out telling you when these shows are coming on, please do tune in, because your calls, your donations makes a huge difference, inshallah. I would like to thank everyone that has donated today. I would like to thank everyone that has called today, and inshallah we can do more. Just as a reminder, please do not go anywhere, because the show continues. Just because we're coming off, the show continues. We have Brother Minhal, Brother Ali Fadil, and Brother Yasser, who will be coming on, absolutely amazing, and they will, all three of them will come on, inshallah. So please do not go anywhere. Stay tuned while we continue to fundraise for those in need. We're going to go off for a quick video, inshallah, and the brothers will join us after the short video. Thank you so much for watching, and inshallah we'll see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
With more and more victims of war and poverty, the Middle East has seen a surge in patients seeking medical aid. Iraq alone has 2.4 million people without access to any form of medical assistance. In Afghanistan, Due to the lack of funding and devastating conflict, the health service is at breaking point. Imam Hussein Charity aims to help provide a better future for these impoverished patients, aiding them with finances for their prescriptions as well as dialysis of their kidneys. You can help our brothers and sisters with purchases of prescriptions for just £20, and for £200 help a patient with a dialysis procedure. To donate or for more information, visit www.imamhusseincharity.com.
The Imam Hussein Charity is providing food baskets for the impoverished in Iraq and Afghanistan. Last year we managed to distribute 6,000 baskets, and this year we plan to beat that record. Each basket contains food essentials such as rice, flour, eggs, meat, vegetables, fruit, dried lemons, tea, dates, and much, much more. One basket of £25 can feed a family of 4 for up to 10 days. £75 will feed a family of 4 for the whole of the holy month of Ramadan. You can donate via PayPal, bank transfer, or visit www.imamhusseincharity.com.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and Ramadan Kareem. The Imam Hussein Charity is running its famous Ramadan food basket appeal. Previous years we were able to collect and feed thousands of struggling families. This year, we want to provide 10,000 food baskets to the impoverished families of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each basket contains essentials like rice, flour, meat, vegetables, lentils, dried lemons, oils and dates. One basket can feed up to a family of 4 for up to 10 days and only costs £25 per basket. £75 will feed a family of 4 for the whole of Ramadan. So take advantage of this blessed month, help feed our brothers and sisters in need. You can donate via PayPal, bank transfer, or visit us on imamhusseincharity.com for more information. Thank you. This Ramadan, help IHC distribute food baskets to the impoverished in Iraq and Afghanistan. You can provide a food basket which will feed a family of 4 for 10 days for just £25. That's £75 to feed a family for the whole of Ramadan. Each basket contains food essentials such as rice, flour, vegetables, fruit, meat, sugar, salt, tea, dates and more. You can also donate to our iftar campaign where £30 will allow a local Husseini in Karbala and Harat to feed one person iftar for the whole of Ramadan. That's £1 an iftar meal per day. To donate or for more information, visit www.imamhusseincharity.com. Thank you. This Ramadan, help IHC distribute food baskets to the impoverished in Iraq and Afghanistan. You can provide a food basket which will feed a family of 4 for 10 days for just £25. That's £75 to feed a family for the whole of Ramadan. Now what comes in the food basket, I hear you say? Well, we have flour, rice, meats like chicken, also lamb and beef, dates, lentils, olives, vegetables, fruits, and essentials such as oil and also tomato paste. To donate or for more information, visit www.imamhusseincharity.com. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah wa barakatuh and Ramadan Kareem. The Imam Hussein Charity will be running its food basket campaign again this year, giving you the opportunity to help destitute and impoverished families throughout the whole of Iraq and Afghanistan. Each food basket contains essentials such as rice, flour, dried lemons, tea, fruits and vegetables, oil, tomato paste, dates, and much more. Each basket is £25 and can feed a family of 4 for up to 10 days. You can feed a family of 4 for the whole of Ramadan for only £75. You can donate via bank transfer, PayPal, or visit us at www.imamhusseincharity.com.
Meet Abu Hassan, the father of a martyr who left behind a widow and a number of orphans. His son, Hassan, was brutally killed by the criminals of ISIS, and since then, his life and the life of his family took a turn for the worse.
خابرت الساعة 7 قال لأبويا صار علينا تعرض. قلت له أبويا دير بالك على التعرض نخبر هذا اللهم خلنا خابرنا. بعدين خابرت الساعة 8 انقطعت المخابرات منه. يوني الصبح المنطقة كلها تدري أنا ما أدري. يوني الصبح قالوا سيد حسن استشهد. من استشهد؟ بعد احنا صار بينا. الساعة وياي بن سعيد للمطار مال المثنى بغداد. استلمته هو ويا 7 من هالكربلاء. كلهم قطموا رؤوسهم بالعلاليج. كلهم استلمناهم وجبناهم. هو الكبير هو راعي البيت وهاي اطفال خلاها عندي. بعد شلون حالتي تصير؟ تدرون بالحاله ايش يصير بك بنادم. تعبت هواي. هذا شفتي وينه؟ بالجمعه يعلن اعلان يروح لابوه للقبر وينوشون القبر انا مصور وياه ينزلون صورته ويحبونه. كل جمعه يروحون لابوه.
Ever since his son died, he has been struggling to take care of his younger son and his orphaned grandchildren. Abu Hassan is an old man with a number of illnesses, which means he's unable to work. Like many other families of martyrs, Abu Hassan's family have no financial support and are left to face the challenges of living costs alone, whilst grieving the tragic death of their fathers and children.
مصرف احنا الراتب اللي يجينا هذا راتبه نوفي البيت هذا بعد مطلوبين عليه وهو الله يرحمه مطلوب. بعد يعني يمكن 8 ملايين طلب علينا للبيت هذا وش اسمه علينا. انا العام سويت عمليه انفجر عندي القولون والمعده ومصران اعور. انت بنيتي هاي مرتي الشهيد والله العظيم. هسه انا لها تلبي بالفريشات بهذه وتفرش البيت هذا بارد الفراخات تلملم.
Hassan's death has left a big gap in his children's lives. They were all dependent on him and had a very strong bond with him. The challenges of life and financial struggles they are going through has made them miss their father more.
هاي دائما طلبه وهذا خلاه يقعد. هذا خلاه دايره سنته مقرمات ريلي واخذته شايله بحضن شفت نشيط. اخذته الامام الحسين مالت الحشد الشعبي واخذوه للمستشفى ضربوه بر سوريين لحساب الحشد ضربوه بر صار زين. ما يسمع ابوه ما وعد ابوه. من يسمع ابوه من يشوف ابوه صورت ابوه يشبك عليه يا ابوك يدي
حسن.
شو منه؟ يا ابوك
حسن.
وين حسن؟
ميت.
زين انا هسه عند هذا الفرخ يجون والله وحق يدي محمد ما قل لهم ابوي هذا ما قل له ابوي من يقعدون في ركب نحتاج اقول له قوم عني خاف يتعثرون يتعثر.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear respected brothers and sisters and dear viewers of Imam Hussein TV, and welcome back to the second segment of this Imam Hussein charity fundraiser where we're raising money for orphans and widows across Iraq and Afghanistan. In particular for Afghanistan, we are building water wells for them. Villages, impoverished villages that don't have any water, we're building water wells for them for £1,500 per water well. Brothers and sisters, we know the right of every human being is water, and we are pushing to reach our target, to get to that target that we need to get to be able to build these water wells, sadaqah, all these kinds of things. The phone lines are there, 0203 515 0199 and 0203 515 1122. And if you can't call from the UK, you're international, then the WhatsApp number is on your screen, +44 7415 092155. Brothers and sisters, it's a matter of urgency, and we urge you all to pick up your phones, go on ImamHusseinCharity.com and donate towards these orphans and these widows, because they do need you.
Ahsantum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. My name is Ali Fadl. We're on the show today. I'm also joined by
Yasser.
Today's show is for you to donate right here, right now. The easiest way to donate is to look at your screen. There are a couple of campaigns that you can very, very simply select and be able to choose the number of donations or the number of money that you want to donate. They go to specific places. So don't worry, it's not like, oh, let me send 50, 60, 70 pounds. I don't know where it's going to go. You can simply choose on your screen now which particular campaign that you want to donate for.
That's right. And one particular campaign that really amazed me is that we have something where we give futur for an orphan for 30 days. And guess how much that will be? That will be £30. That's £1 a day. £1 a day to feed an orphan. What is that to us? £1. That's nothing for us, brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
If you can right now, brothers and sisters, go call the numbers on your screen and donate that £1. Donate that £2. And
just look behind you. That's the iftar that's being served right here. That's the iftar that's being served to the orphans and to the widows in Iraq and Afghanistan, to the people who are basically starving in these days. Ramadan, Ramadan, we go the whole day without eating, but we know we can look forward to food. We can look forward to our mums cooking. We can look forward to going out with our friends. But these people, they look forward to hearing the news that someone has provided them with iftar, that someone has, has taken the time out of their day to give money so that they can have a meal for that night. So brothers and sisters, the phone lines are on your screens, 0203 515 0199 or 0203 515 1122. The package is on your screens. You can donate as much as you want.
Last year and the year before, people did have some excuses, and they said, oh, you know what, for example, our financial situation is not all that. The whole COVID situation is quite bad. This year, we're not saying there's going to be an excuse for you, but genuinely, if you just keep the orphans in mind, keep those who are less fortunate than you in mind, everyone right here, right now are getting together. And when they're getting together, they're talking about their issues and their worries and the whole community. There's a beautiful community feel because the whole COVID situation is eased up. So people are back in the mosques. When you're back in the mosques, you're able to talk to your brothers and sisters and tell them about what the situation is going on. Tell them about what's going on and tell them that they can actually donate. If you're looking at this right now, you're looking at your screen and you're looking at the video behind us, and this is your chance right now to be able to call in or look at the website, whichever way you want to be able to donate now.
And I also wanted to say, you emphasized right here, right now. Why do we keep saying right here, right now? Because this is an urgent matter. You might be laid back right now at home saying, you know what, I might donate tomorrow. I'll donate next week. I'll donate whenever I can. Brothers and sisters, whenever you wait, every minute you wait, every hour, every day, these orphans suffer and suffer even more. If you look at your screens, we are emphasizing and trying to give you this campaign of building a water well. Why do we say a water well? There are kids in Afghanistan, there are women in Afghanistan with no water, no clean water. If you check the statistics, they say that over 2 billion people have no water.
Middle.
Yeah. No water. Sorry, Mullah Ali.
It's okay.
So if we are saying that they have no water, no clean water,
Brother Yasser,
this is your chance.
I just want to announce that we have had a few donations come in as we have been speaking. And then I'll announce them, and then we'll have a loud salawat. We've had £30, £25, £25 and £25, bringing the total to £1,239. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Brothers and sisters, look, these campaigns that we're holding here, a lot of people might sit and say that, why are you three on TV? Why are you not actively helping these people? Why are you not there? Why are you in our screens? The reality is, brothers and sisters, everyone has their own role when it comes to giving the message and providing the message and propagating the message of the orphans and the widows. We're here to tell you about the situation, to show you videos like these of our distributions, of what we're doing in Iraq and what we're doing in Afghanistan, so that you can support that and you can contribute towards that. The numbers are on your screens: 0203 515 0199 and 0203 515 1122.
One of the things that you'd probably need to notice is that the summer months are going to start in, especially in the Middle East. And we know that the summer heat can reach 50, 60 degrees in some countries. One of the campaigns that I want to draw your attention to is it's literally just a £200 to build shelter for these, for the people that are less privileged than us. This shelter, by the way, in the winter could be used as a place of security and warmth. And in the summer months, it is shelter from the actual sun. Now, we may not think in the West that this is a major issue. We may not think in the West that this is a major issue, but it is a massive, massive issue for those who are less fortunate in the Middle East. And for what? £200, you're building a shelter, not just for a couple of months, but for years. They're going to have that shelter on top of their heads, and they will constantly, by the way, the benefit for you as the audience, they will constantly remember you as the person that donated. And in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is absolutely massive.
And if I want to add on to your point, Mullah Ali, is that I just remember the hadith that we have said throughout this show, is that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, the one that helps an orphan, the one that sponsors an orphan, is like this to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Jannah. What other push, what other motivation does one need to know, to have that opportunity to be like this with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa sallam?
And also, brothers and sisters, let's just mention our target for today. Our target for the past couple of days has been £10,000, but we haven't been able to reach that. So in this segment, brothers and sisters, let's just reach £5,000. Let's just get to £5,000. We have had a few donations that have come in: £10, £75 and £13, bringing the total to £1,337. Let's have a loud salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Now, brothers and sisters, look, the phone lines are on your screens: 0203 515 0199 and 0203 515 1122. I know many of you don't want to call in. Many of you don't even want to speak to the backstage staff, let alone speak to us. That's fine. That's no problem at all. The bank account details are on your screens right there. The account number, the sort code, the name of the bank account, the WhatsApp. If you want to call internationally, then you can call through WhatsApp and you can speak to us, or you can just speak to one of the backstage staff and they will help you with that. If you want to do an international transfer, then the account details are all there. Brothers and sisters, this month is not the month for us to be stingy with the orphans. And all of you who are watching right now, I'm sure come from great families, generous families. You're generous people. You need that final push. You've seen the videos. Inshallah, that will motivate you to help the orphans, to help the widows, help the poor people in Iraq and Afghanistan. Because, listen, they need water wells, they need food, they need shelter, they need medical help, they need dialysis. Many people suffer from kidney problems in those countries.
Haji Yasser mentioned the hadith, was it from the Holy Prophet? Right. I would probably go one further, and this isn't a show where we're going to talk about hadith and stories of the Ahlul Bayt. However, just to give the example to make it closer to home, right? Imam Hussein alayhi salam, as we know, gave everything, literally everything that he had, including his body, including his women, children, friends, companions, whatever you can think of, his home. He left his home and he gave everything for the sake of this religion. And what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give in return? He gave him a throne of Karbala and the shrine of Imam Hussein and the millions of visitors that visit Imam Hussein. On the other hand, all we're asking is to reach a certain target of, and by the way, I genuinely cannot believe that the target right now was it £5,000?
5,000, yeah.
£5,000 is the target. In one event, in different shows, you can get hundreds of £1,000s donated. Why is it with us, it's not being able to reach the £5,000?
And just to build on that, Mullah Ali, just to build on that, you mentioned Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Now, Imam Hussein is revered by billions and millions across the world. But let's take it to someone within our community, someone who we recently lost. May Allah bless his soul. Brother Fazal Virani, if I'm saying his name correctly, the marhum, who spent his whole life dedicated to the orphans and the widows and going to poor countries and picking up the orphans. And you know, that man, the marhum, is remembered so dearly in our community. In London and even across the UK, he's remembered so dearly. And why? Because he dedicated his life to the orphans. He gave his life to the orphans and the widows and helped as much as he could. He gave everything. You know, sometimes he sacrificed days from his family just to be with the orphans across the world, in the Middle East, in Asia. So, brothers and sisters, let's take a lesson. If not Imam Hussein alayhi salam, then let's take some lessons from the life of a brother who we know, a brother who we've broken bread with, a brother who we've sat and spoken to. Brother Fazal Virani.
One other thing I wanted to mention as well. Sometimes people may ask the question, or they might be sitting back umming and ahhing about donating. Let me tell you this, right? You could be thinking, oh, this is £100, £200, that's leaving my account. How am I going to account for this later on? What if I've got bills and so on and so on and so forth? What you're not thinking about, and I'll tell you this from personal experience, by the way, I genuinely tell you this from personal experience, what you're not thinking about is you might not be able to see tangible results, okay, from you giving this £100 or £200 with your own eyes. You may be able to see it in the videos, but the level of good that you feel after giving that £200, sometimes the blessings will come. You don't know that this is a direct correlation between you giving £200, but you will definitely see the blessings, and that is valuable for you.
Ahsant, Mullah Ali. And building on that point is, Brother Minhal said that this brother that we lost so dear to our hearts used to go to these countries, used to pick up the orphans with his own hands. We are not asking you to even do any of that, brothers and sisters. We are asking you to find it in your heart. Find it within yourself that, you know what, I want to help an orphan today. I want to help this orphan reshape his life, for him to see the opportunities that maybe you had, that we had, that they don't have. Think of it like that, brothers and sisters. If you want that final push, if it's been in your mind that, you know what, this is the month of mercy, let me donate, let me help, this is the push. Us free right now on your screens, this is the push. The numbers are on your screens. You don't want to speak to us? You don't want us to hear you? You don't want us to know you? Then go on the website. Donate anonymously and we won't even know you've donated. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will know that you have donated.
I said, Brother Yasser, brothers and sisters, we've had 3 donations coming right now, £30, £10, £75, bringing the total to £1,452. Let's have that push for that £5,000, because, you know, you see the condition. Look at those conditions behind me. The conditions that you see right there is what people are living in. You know, so, some of us have hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of planning for our houses, renovations and that kind of stuff. But we neglect the orphans who just need that basic, what some people consider to be old, and you know they want to renew. The orphans would love, they would dream to have something like that. And with £1,500 you can help build a home for these orphans.
Also on that £1,500, one of the things that, again, we're going to mention that Brother Fadl Virani.
Mullah Ali, we just have a phone call. Can we take that before you make your point? Please. We take the phone call and say Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, brother. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Haidar and I'm calling from London.
Haidar from London. Brother Haidar, what inspired you to call in today?
I feel like what you guys are doing is very beautiful. I feel like the food baskets for Iraq is an initiative that I feel like the kids really need and everyone in Iraq really needs. And I just thought, it's cool.
How much, brother, how much are you going to contribute today towards these orphans and the widows?
I'd love to contribute £100, brother.
أحسنت إن شاء الله أحسنت إن شاء الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أحسنت brother Haidar, Jazakallah khair. Thank you for your call, and inshallah, you know, if you think about it and you do donate towards these widows and the orphans, then inshallah their dua is probably more accepted than most people in this world.
I was gonna say we
Inshallah.
Ahsant.
Did you want to say something else, brother Haidar?
I just feel like I want everyone to carry on helping with this initiative. I feel like the people of Iraq really need it, and inshallah, Allah blesses you all for you guys' efforts.
Ahsan, Jazakallah khair al-jaza. Thank you so much for your call.
So yeah, I was going to say, I mean, we keep mentioning the marhum Fadl of Irani. One of the things that I'm sure in Allah's eyes is going to have is sadaqah jariyah. So not only is he going to have reward in the short life that he had, but until eternity, those orphans, widows, those who are less privileged are going to be constantly remembering him and thanking him, and therefore his hasanat, his deeds, are going to carry on even after he's passed away. Likewise, with the £1,500, especially for the well, the reason why I want to mention this is on that well, if you're going to be constantly feeding or providing sustenance, do you know what guys, you know what sustenance means?
That's the video playing just behind you, Mullah Ali.
The water will provide sustenance for a whole village. We're not talking about a £25 or a £50 iftar for a certain family, just for a certain month. We're talking a number of years that you're sustaining a village that they can live off when it comes to wildlife, when it comes to, for example, herds, plant life, water for their children, water to even, for example, build stuff. Water is the most essential thing, and it's the most basic human right, as Minhan mentioned. But for a measly £1,500, you get that sadaqah jariyah, and that you could do this today.
Mullah, and on that point, I just want to make it more personal on you. How many people today woke up and realized how dry their lips were? How dry their mouth were, and were like, if only I could have that one sip of water. If only I can just quench my thirst. I'm not hungry. I don't want food. I just want to have one sip of water. Brothers and sisters, there are millions, there are billions of people just today are feeling that. And they will continue to feel it for the rest of their lives unless you take that initiative, that final push to help them. Like you said, this is a sadaqah jariyah. Every time they drink from it, every time they use it for food, for plantation, for whatever cause they use it, you get the hasanat, you get the rewards.
And brothers and sisters, we've just had a few donations come in, £13, £75 and £60, bringing the total to £1,600 exactly. Let's have a salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And one point I just want to make, brothers and sisters, is first of all, the phone lines are on your screens right there, so you can call in to speak to us and to pledge your donation towards the orphans. But secondly, I know many of you have been to Arba'een. Many of you have been to Arba'een, and many of you have seen, you know, the water that gets handed out in Iraq, you know, the cups of water that you see. And you know, for the past couple of years, Arba'een has been during the summertime, so it's been very hot, and it's been, you know, Iraq's heat is pretty unbearable. You either have very hot or very cold. There isn't really in between. And how many times just walking to the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam have you wanted that cup of water? Have you been parched for thirst? But look behind me right here, that video right there that you see of that water well that was built for these villages in Afghanistan. This is what people feel every single day. This is what people sometimes walk miles and miles, and I'm sure you've seen the videos on YouTube from, you know, other associations who show you the experience that these children go through just to get water. And sometimes, most of the time actually, that water isn't very clean. That water is full of dirt, mud, bacteria, viruses, and much more that you wouldn't want in the body of your worst enemy. Let's put it that way. So brothers and sisters, donation lines are open, 0203 515 1122 and 0203 515 0199. We are going to go to a short video, but stay with us, and inshallah we'll be back on your screen. Assalamu alaikum.
This mother of two martyrs who got killed protecting their country is left today with no support. For the past 7 years, she has been struggling to provide the necessities of life for her family and receives scarce amount of money from the government. Recently, her home, which houses her and 19 members of her family, including her son, orphaned grandchildren, and widowed daughter-in-law, got burned, and the situation deteriorated even more.
يعطونا هاي الراتب، هاي البنية 300 ويا هاي عود للقاصرين قصوهين، وهذا اللي هنا العايشين بيهن. والله ما يجيبني منها راس الشهر. من يجون أهل الطيبين أهل الرحم للطيبين يودونا هالطحينة هالشكرة جاية وأنا داري بيهم من الشهر راس الشهر أقضي هدية من الحبايب من الخيرين من اللي يودي لي مؤسسة طحين من الصديق من صدغان ابني. أنا هيك قضيت هاي 7 سنين، هاي السابعة دخل بيه. والله العظيم والله العظيم لا مكرمة ولا مرحمة. الشاهد الله والحسين كل شيء ما شفت. كل يوم أصبح ميتة، كل يوم أقول الموت اللي يجيني وياخذني، لأن أباوع اليتامى نتريق نتعشى ما نتغدى. شاهد الله وأهل البيت لا أعطونا مكرمة لا أعطونا مرحمة لا أعطونا كل شيء ما أعطونا. وأنا مرة كبيرة أسأل أهل الطيبين وأهل الرحم وأهل الغيرة، لأن أنا طيت ولدي استشهدوا في سبيل الله إن شاء الله وعلى درب الحسين، ونخيت لهم وقالوا لي يوم تنخينا على درب الحسين نروح لا تبكين ورانا ولا تذبين ماي ورانا. وأنا قاعدة هسه مستقرة وراسي عالي وأسأل الله وأهل البيت الشيعة أمير المؤمنين كل الشباب إن شاء الله أدعي لهم يوميا من الصبح. وأنا هلا قاعدة تشوفوني وهذا حالي.
Her second son Muhammad had sold his phone and went in debt just so he could buy military clothes and afford to go and fight for his nation. Upon his death, she faced many challenges that she had not expected.
أخير واحد باع موباينه هذا محمد رجل هاي البنية أبو ال4 ولد باع موباينه وراح بيه. اي والله وحق راس الحسين اللي ما شرب ماي باع موباينه وراح بيه. واروح ماي بيدي واركض وراهم امشي وراهم من الشارع للتبليط. والله العظيم الدينة ندين 200,000 وجهز روحه بيه من الولاية. الشاهد الحسين وقال لي يوم ابرين الذمة انا منقبض راتب. قال لي هذا ابو الدكان هذا ابو المحل قدامنا. قال له عينك على امي وعينك على جهالي من يشترون. سجل على راتبي. والله شاهد الله ما عندي وارد عدل عقب راتبهم هذا اللي يجي. هذا 300,000 وقطعوهن. والشاهد الله وداحت الحسين ومن وقف كل عراقي على كرسي قعد. واول انتخابات انتخبتهم خذيت نسواني وجناني وانتخبتهم. قلت لهم راح العزيز ودنا لعزمنا لا ولكم احنا عايشين.
As her health is deteriorating daily, she is getting worried about her orphaned grandchildren, whose future is unpredictable.
والله منيتي الدار وليدات الشهيد وانا عساني هسه اموت بعد شوي اموت. وليدات الشهيد والدار لهم ترى بالعباس وفاضل كل شيء ما عندنا. يشهد الحسين يا كيس الطحين من يجي يعني احنا 7 أيام كيس الطحين يكتنا نخبز لهم. اقعد انا اخبز لهم اريكهم اغديهم واعشيهم. وهاي من تطلع لهم من تغيب من يجون من المدرسه ندرسهم نلبسهم نغسل لهم. شو نسوي هذا البيدي. وانا مره طايحه سكر وضغط وتضخم صار عندي من وراء ولدي بالدم. والله وعيوني عمى ما اشوف بيهن. هذا اللي عندي ساعدوني.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and welcome back. Just like you saw in that video, subhanallah, that woman who her son sold everything he had to go and fight and defend his country in Iraq up north, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decision was to take him from this earth, and he was killed fighting against ISIS, and now she's living on just bread. Wallah, just bread. And that bread that isn't available to her all the time. That bread that rarely comes about. The bread that rarely comes about for her. And she's an old woman, she's blind. If your heart doesn't break for this woman and for the orphans and for the widows and for the people who are just left behind like that, people who are just forgotten. Let's not forget these people, brothers and sisters.
Dear viewers, people are donating right now. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, is it just one donation is going to make a difference? It will make a difference. You are part of a community of people right here, right now that are donating. I mean, in terms of what you've seen on the screens, in terms of the woman, actually, I don't think Brother Minhal mentioned, but the woman was blind. So imagine you've had the main breadwinner of the family who's been taken away, and now you're a blind woman who has a family. How is she going to fend for herself? How is she going to provide for her family? She has zero means to do so, but you are the person that can help. And that's why you can donate now.
And we've just had 2 donations, one of £50, one of £75. £1,725 is the new total. We're close to £2,000. Brothers and sisters, just for this segment, let's just reach £5,000. There's so many events where Mullah Ali mentioned before that, you know, raise tens of thousands of pounds for you know, entertainment, for those kinds of things. But brothers and sisters, we're in a humanitarian crisis right now. This is a humanitarian thing. This is, you know, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam says, you know, people have 2 types, your brothers in faith or your equals in humanity. This is, if you don't consider them, you know, brothers in faith, because there's different religions in Iraq and different religions in Afghanistan and that kind of stuff. Your equals in humanity. This is a humanitarian thing. Now, before we continue, we will go to Karbala, to our brother Ali Jawahiri, who is in Bayn al-Haramain in the studio of Imam Hussein TV, who will be reading out the names of all those who have donated. And we do remember you whenever, you know, when you donate, we remember your names, your marhumeen. But we say assalamu alaikum to our dear brother Ali Jawahiri. Brother Ali, assalamu alaikum, can you hear me?
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, brother Minhal, Mullah Ali and brother Yasser. Assalamu alaikum ya Abul Fadl Abbas. Assalamu alaikum ya Qadi al-Hajat. Assalamu alaikum ya Saqi al-Atasha Karbala. Assalamu alaikum ya Abul Fadl Abbas. As you know, on the day of Ashura, when the kids been calling for Al-Atash, Amma, Ya Abul Fadl Abbas. They calling, uncle, we are thirsty, we need water. So here is Abul Fadl Abbas. And inshallah, anyone from now on who will donate through this post, I will personally write your name and send it inside the Dariha Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. I will recite the diyah of Abul Fadl Abbas tonight behalf of their name. So do donate, do help the needy people, orphan, widow, and inshallah Abul Fadl Abbas will grab your hand on the judgment day. I will read some of the donors' names that who donate through this code, and inshallah I will recite the diyah on their behalf. I got here Imran Khoja, Tabassum Sheikh, Ali Akhtar Sabuni, Zainab Falah, Muhammad Zafar, Neelam, Rafiq, Miqdal Muayyad, Rubab Al-Wati, Kardo, Khurshid, Shamim, Siraj, Kulsum Ali, and Barwani, Riyadh, Amir Ali, Lubana Musa, Sayyid Shahzad Bukhari, Fatima Moulaj, Zohra Khalid, Fatima H, Sabira Fatima Nur Muhammad, Amreen Fatima Surani, Muhammad, and Hussein, Hawara, Muhammad, Reza, Ra'na, and Sayyida Sana Zahra, Abbas Ali, Ahmed, Mail, Hussein Alauddin or Ali-Ad-Din, Hassan Hamdani, Shukufa Askarzada. Inshallah, I will pray on your behalf and behalf of your parents, your marhumeen. Sallallahu alayka ya Abul Fadl Abbas. Sallallahu alayka ya Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen. Sallallahu alayka ya Ibn Rasulullah. Assalamu alayka wa ala ukhtika Sayyida Zainab. Assalamu alayka wa ala Sayyida Ruqayya wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To you, brother Minhal.
Thank you so much. And to all the dear viewers, you heard the names of the people that have donated. We are reciting your names and giving you a special ziyarah in Karbala with our dear brother Ali Jawahri, who recites a special ziyarah on your behalf every night for this show, whenever the show is on. Brothers and sisters, the packages are on your screens right there. And you go to imamhusseincharity.com or you call the phone lines 0203 515 0199 or 0203 515 1122 to help with this humanitarian crisis that we are going through right now.
Brothers and sisters, when you are helping with this humanitarian crisis, you're actually answering a call that was made 14 centuries ago. And this call was made by Imam Hussein alayhi salam. I'll tell you why. Because when Imam Hussein alayhi salam stood on the 10th of Ashura, on the 10th of Muharram, in the land of Karbala, he stood in front of the enemies. After he said goodbye to his women and children, he stood in front of the enemies and said, "Hal min nasirin yansuruna?" Is there anyone out there to help us? Now, he knows the fate of his sister and the women and the children, and he knows his own fate. Who was he calling out to? When he said, "Hal min nasirin yansuruna," is there anyone out there to help us? It's not to help him as a person, Imam Hussein. It's to help the cause of Imam Hussein. And that cause is what we're urgently appealing for to you right now. The humanitarian crisis that's going on in the Middle East is urgent. It's really, really bad. We wake up every single day thinking about our daily lives, which is fine. Alhamdulillah, you have that blessing, but other people don't. And that's why we're asking you to dig within your hearts, within your minds and your pockets to be able to say, look, here's £100, here's £200, this is my duty.
Brothers and sisters, we've had £25 and £50 come in right now to bring the total to £1,800. We need £200 more to reach that £2,000 mark, and inshallah we can get to £5,000 by the end of tonight's segment. Brothers and sisters, sponsor someone who has kidney failure, someone who has kidney problems for their dialysis, or shelter for those in need to rebuild their homes for just £200, and let's get to that target of £2,000. Bank account details on your screen, the donation lines are on there, 0203 515 0199, so that we can help with this humanitarian crisis. You know, it breaks your heart when Brother Yasser mentioned that there's over 2 billion people with no clean water. It shows that it's a state of emergency. This isn't just a thing where we say, it's not just numbers that we're saying, that 2 billion people. 2 billion people, that's over what? Over a quarter of humanity.
Yeah.
That's over a quarter of people that inhabit this earth. In different countries, the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, thousands of miles away, this whole earth. Over a quarter of this whole earth does not have clean water.
Absolutely. And you can even talk about other campaigns that we have. If building a water well is too much for you, even though we have given you options like dividing in a family of 10 people, £150 each, brothers and sisters. But if you don't want to build a water well, but you still want to help, look at the campaigns on your TV. Look at the things that we're giving you opportunities to donate to. £30 can feed an orphan for 30 days. £50 for sadaqah, or you can give them even a £25 donation for a food basket, feeding a family of 4 for 10 days.
Those of you who are thinking, you know, it's Ramadan, I want to give, I want to donate, I want to better myself, one of the ways in which you can really seek closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is through charity. And that charity, what we're asking for is for you to be able to donate, and to donate for some absolutely amazing causes. So please do look at the campaigns on your screen. As I mentioned, one of the reasons why we're asking you to do this is not because you know, at the end of the day, there is a responsibility, a duty on you. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam does mention, he who does not think about the affairs of brothers and sisters, of those who are less fortunate than us, is not from us. And we can't keep living our lives thinking, let me just focus on my own life, when I'm not thinking about what's happening in the world and the crisis that's there now.
Brothers and sisters, look, there's going to be some live footage of Karbala just behind me right here. You will see it in a bit, and just think about that day of Ashura, where the orphans of Imam Hussein, you know, let's backtrack a bit. And when Safir al-Hussein, the ambassador of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when he was about to be killed, and he stood on top of the palace of Ubaydullah bin Ziyad al-La'in. And he said, and he turned towards Medina and he said, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. And then Imam al-Hussein turns around and says to him, Wa alayka as-salam ya Muslim. And then who comes to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? The young daughter of Muslim ibn Aqil, Hamida bint Muslim. And Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam puts her on his lap. And he begins to stroke her head. Now, she said to him, Uncle Aba Abdullah, what's happened to my father? He said to her, what do you mean? She said to him, because you only do this to orphans. And then he said to her, Bunayya ana abuki wa banati akhawatuki. The live footage right behind you. He said, my daughter, I am your father now. And my daughters are your sisters.
If we're talking about Karbala, there was another daughter of Imam Hussein. There was another daughter actually of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. After Imam Hussein was killed, in the night they were looking for a particular girl. Sayyidah Zainab was looking for a particular girl. She couldn't find this girl within her vicinity because Sayyidah Zainab had to keep all of the women and children close to her. So when they were looking for this girl, they looked left, right and center. Where are you, young girl? And it was the girl was called Ruqayya. And Ruqayya came back and she said, Lady Zainab, I have, and again, going back to the basic necessity that we all need, I have a glass of water, she said. Now I can quench the thirst of my father. He was complaining about water. And I can quench the thirst of my father, Hussein alayhi salam, with this glass of water. So if we're not going to appeal to you when it comes to what's going on in this world, at least we can touch, inshallah, your hearts by bringing Karbala closer to you. It's on your screen now. It should be on your screen now. The story of Karbala.
If we are talking about Karbala, then and you even talked about water. This is why we are emphasizing on building a water well in Afghanistan. There isn't just one little girl, or there isn't just the family, one family or two families. This is a whole village across the whole country of Afghanistan. We are emphasizing the point that they don't have clean water. We might just be aiming at Afghanistan, but there are over 2 billion people with no clean water. Brothers and sisters, how many times today, just today alone, did you want to have a drink of water? How many times were you like, oh my God, when is Futur coming? I need to have water. These people are feeling that exact same feeling every single day. We cry for Abu Abdullah alayhi salam, the one that died with his lips being dry, the one that had no water. These people are all dying every single day.
We've seen Haji Yasser, we've seen on the news last couple of months the atrocities that happened to the Shia Hadara in Afghanistan. And maybe we were thinking, well, I'm quite helpless. What can I do from a political point of view? I have to start lobbying, writing articles, trying to write to news outlets to be able to tell them what's going on about Hadara Shias and the oppression that they feel. But at the end of the day, the repercussions of the actions that's happened in Afghanistan is that there are widows, there are orphans, there are those who are less fortunate. And that's where we're asking you today, you can help these people. If you thought back a couple of months ago, I can't really do anything, but now you can. And that's why today, now, urgently we appeal to you to be able to provide what little that you can. And any little, by the way, is not something that's scorned on or it's not frowned upon. Any little that you can provide will go a massive, massive long way to help.
Just to add on to that, Mullah Ali, the little that's in your eyes, it's huge in the eyes of those that are in need. It's huge in their eyes. That £20 that may seem like nothing to you is huge in those countries. It's big. And
I'll tell you what, when, for example, bringing it close to home, living in London, you see some poor people sometimes on the streets. Even like some people, you're told not to, whatever, long story short, even when you give that person, that poor person in London, I'm talking about London here, yeah? Even if you give them that £10, the happiness on their faces is unbelievable. That you can see. Again, it's tangible. You can see it. You can see the happiness on his face when you give him that money. It means a hell of a lot to him. Now imagine if £100 to a person who's living in Afghanistan or in the Middle East or wherever it may be, who is in dire need, more than the poor people here. But those orphans and widows need it more.
Brothers and sisters, we have 15 minutes left. We've just had 2 donations of £75 each, bringing the total to £1,950. We're £50 away from that £2,000 mark. But brothers and sisters, it's disappointing because our target was £5,000 to send over to Afghanistan and Iraq. And we mentioned this time and time again, but the money that you send in doesn't go to the Iraq or Afghanistan tomorrow. No, it goes now. Now is when the money goes to those countries so that we can help in the quickest time possible. And you know, let me put it to you this way. When you want to do, you know, a'mal khayriyah, when you want to do a good deed, you know, sometimes it requires you to go and see the conditions. Sometimes it requires you to go and build yourself or buy yourself and then distribute it. Brothers and sisters, this is like you putting your money with someone who invests the money for you and they're just giving you the profits. You're sitting at your house comfortable. You're just giving the money and the profits are coming back to you.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. That's what our teams are doing over in Afghanistan and Iraq. You just send the money and we give it to those orphans. We give it to those widows. And you know, we provide food baskets. We provide shelter. We sponsor orphans, iftar, dialysis, water wells, housing funds. All of that, you can see the packages on your screens right now. The donation lines are open, 0203 515 1122 and 0203 515 0199. Now, most of us propagate that, you know, this life is only temporary. If we really believed in that, then we'd do everything we could to secure our akhirah. And do it in the name of your marhumin, because believe me, no one is perfect. And us, when we die, or your marhumin, or our marhumin, they still have those sins that they wish that they can have a good deed that counteracts that sin. So do it in their name, brothers and sisters.
You must have loved ones. You must have loved ones, fathers, mothers. I hope not, you know, sons or daughters that have passed away early, but they've done something with their lives and they've left a legacy, and you want to give something in their name. So by all means, again, the campaigns are on your screen. A £30 iftar, by the way, will cover, I think it was a whole family for a couple of days.
No, £30. It's for one person for 30 days.
One person for one person.
So
for
£1 a day. That's all it is. Brothers and sisters, look, we're showing you Karbala. And there's a reason why we're showing you Karbala. Because who's going to answer the call, as Mullah Ali said, who's going to answer the call for the cause of Imam Hussein alayhi salam? Who's going to answer the orphans? Who's going to answer the call of the orphans?
By the way, on that call, what I didn't mention is that a similar call was made centuries before Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because the Prophet Ibrahim was actually called by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to build the Kaaba. And so when he built the Kaaba upon Allah's orders, he said, well, what do I do now? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, make a call and I will do the rest. And he said, okay, no problem. So I'm making a call, and that call till today is known to be Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, because that call was to all of the women, all of the men, although they weren't next to him. But we answer that call of Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, the same call that Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam made centuries ago. Similarly, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when he made that call, it transcends time, transcends space and time to reach us today. And that's why you're going to be answering this call right now.
And on that point, Brother Ali, we see that all these campaigns on the TV are in front of you. And you might have not donated yet, but we are still on your screens. And on that point, that's answer the call of the cause of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and help these orphans. What's the benefit? What are you going to get out of it? Brothers and sisters, if you have a haja, if you have something that you want to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or if you have anything that you need from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then help His servants. You need help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you are not a helper. Help these orphans in need. Help these poor people in Iraq and Afghanistan. You want something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You want security? You want help for your families? Then help the other families. If you realize something, for example, when our mother, Sayyidati Nisa'i al-Alamin Fatima al-Zahra, Salamullah alayha, used to make a dua. She used to always make the dua for the other people, for the neighbors, then herself. Why? Why? So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see, I am making a dua for my brothers and sisters. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help me, just like I'm trying to help those brothers and sisters.
And I just want to bring your attention, brothers and sisters, to the shelters and to the housing, because, you know, so many people in Iraq and so many people in Afghanistan are homeless. And when we say homeless, we don't mean that they don't have, you know, four walls. We mean they don't have a roof on top of their head. They don't have a roof on top of their head. The amount of times our teams in Iraq and in Afghanistan have seen children sleep on those, you know, those trolleys that push, and during ziyarah, you know, you sometimes have old ladies sitting on them and the kids are pushing. Wallah, sometimes 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you see those children sleeping on them near the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That isn't a way, that isn't something, and that isn't a case we want to be confronted with on the Day of Judgment, believe me. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will see that the ni'mah that He's given us here, the ni'mah He's given so many of us here in the UK, abroad, in Western countries, He will say, I've given you this ni'mah, why didn't you help your fellow Muwali? Why didn't you help your fellow Muslim brother?
I mean, let's just make it very, very simple for you to make that decision. I mean, most of you, especially in the West, you love your coffee, which is fine. You know, you have it in the morning. How much do you spend on your coffee? £3, £4. Sometimes it goes a bit higher, depending on your taste. With Ramadan, you guys don't have that coffee anymore in the mornings, right? So if you're going to save what, 30. It could be a good £300 that you're saving. Yeah. You can't spend maybe £100 of that, £200 of that for something that's absolutely worthwhile, where you could have spent it on coffee, but actually you're probably spending it somewhere else. Maybe it might be even useless, but actually you're spending it on something which is very, very beneficial, especially.
And we only have 10 minutes left, brothers and sisters. Let's make a difference. Can we make a difference? I don't know. I'm praying that we can make a difference right here.
We can.
In the 10 minutes that we have, you know, brothers and sisters, the account names, the sort code, account number, the IBAN number is all there. Phone number, everything.
You know, back in the day, you'd have to go on your laptop to transfer money. Everything's on the phone now. Yeah. It's literally as simple as bringing your phone out, swiping up, going to the app, and then you've got all the details on your screen, which we made it even simple. If you're watching it on your screen, it's so simple. If you're not watching it on your screen, screenshot it now on your phone. If you're watching it from your phone, screenshot now, and you've got the account details.
Ahsant. And on that point, we are telling you how simple it is to donate. And some of you are still here waiting, saying, you know what, there is only 10 minutes left. That £1, that £2, that £20, it's not going to make a difference. Brothers and sisters, yes, it will. Whatever you donate, whatever you give, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees that. And He will repay you and give you something that you have never even wished for. Something that you can't imagine. You might not see it in your eyes, but brothers and sisters, like Hajj Minhal and Hajj Ali said before, it can help your marhumi, it can help when you die. When you leave this world and enter the life of barzakh, you will say to yourself, if only I did that one deed, if only I helped that one orphan, how my life would have been changed.
I tell you what as well. Some people may, I've actually heard people tell me this, you know, sometimes, you know, you guys have such a direct approach when it comes to fundraising and all of that, which, look, I mean, each to their own when it comes to the way that people fundraise. That's not my point here. My point is some people might be sitting back and thinking, yeah, maybe not. You know, what's it got to do with me? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can take your ni'mah, the blessing that you're living in right now, away from you like this. Did anyone know that there was a COVID, or even predict a COVID situation where people's livelihoods, even in the West, were at absolute peril? Yeah. And people had to rely on loans and grants and family and friends for money and for sustenance.
No one. I just wanted to mention that, for example, as Mullah Ali said, no one expected COVID to happen, and so many people lost their jobs. So many people became in such difficult situations. And you know, a big prompt to the Khwaja community for stepping up and providing daily iftar for those who signed up online because they couldn't really afford groceries. Yeah. So, you know, brothers and sisters, we look out for each other here within our smaller communities. But let's not remember those who are protecting. Let's be real. They're surrounding the shrines of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, and Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, Imam al-Kadhim, Imam al-Jawad, Imam al-Hadi, Imam al-Askari. You know, those people who are serving and surrounding and you know, just going around, they all play a purpose in the protection of these shrines. They all play a purpose with their love for these shrines, brothers and sisters. And subhanallah, you know, a lot of you have been to Iraq, a lot of you have seen the people of Iraq and how they are, and you know, their karam, their generosity, and many of you will be witnesses to these kinds of things. But have you never sat down and thought that, you know, this person who's just handed me water, where does he go home to? Which place does he go home to? Where is his home? Where does he sleep? Where does she sleep? Many of us don't think like that.
Yeah, wallah, do we even think about stuff like that at all? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. And you'd find that a lot of them sleep in ruins. You know, once I was walking from the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and I saw these two ladies rummaging through bins, just to find that a plastic bottle, or just a glass bottle, you know. And they didn't even have they had a donkey. They had a donkey to carry all these things, because that's how they made a living. Women in Iraq, because their husbands went and fought, because their sons went and fought, because their brothers and their fathers and their uncles went and fought, so that the shrines that you love, so that the shrines that you want to go to every single year were protected. Especially, for example, Samarra, Imam Al-Hadi and Imam Al-Askari up north, all the way up north in Iraq. ISIS was very close, extremely close to those shrines. We saw what happened in I think it was 2006, when the shrines of Imam Al-Hadi and Imam Al-Askari were bombed. You saw that devastating effect. And those widows on your screens, their husbands went and fought. Their brothers went and fought. Their children, their sons went and fought. So that those shrines, the shrines that you love, were protected. So that you could go and pay your visitation and pay your salams to those imams. Don't forget the sacrifices that these people made.
Whilst you have a bit of finances in your bank account, a bit of money in your bank account, brothers and sisters, we urgently appeal to you right now, today, to be able to answer the call, essentially, and be able to donate to an amazing cause that will make you feel much, much better. Some people might be thinking, look, I'm a bit depressed, or there could be situations where it's quite difficult for you, but giving in any way, shape or form, when you make someone smile, it's an amazing feeling. When you make an orphan smile, I mean, that is countless countless hasanat, good deeds, if you want to put it. The amount of good that you can feel from that is amazing.
And we do say smiling is a form of charity. Now imagine you put the smile on someone's face. You know, some people, this woman right here, you know,
she was blind, by the way.
Yeah, she was blind. But what reason does she have to smile? When our imams and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that smiling is a form of charity, what does she have to smile to? The fact that her son was killed, protecting the shrines that we all adore. What does she have to smile about?
Nothing.
The only thing that she can smile about is you helping her and you donating towards her. Because brothers and sisters, believe me, unless those men went and protected our shrines, then every single one of those shrines will look like Baqi'. And Lord knows, and you know deep within your heart, you do not want those shrines to look like what Baqi' looks like. Mullah Ali, I just want to get final thoughts from you, just a quick final thought, because we have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, there's a number of different ways. Some people might think it's a bit difficult to donate. Some people might think, well, you know, why should I part with my money? It is because you have a responsibility, brothers and sisters. It's not an issue of maybe I can, maybe I can. No, you have a religious duty on you to be able to become emotionally attached to the affairs of the Ummah. And the Ummah, what's happening right now is in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Yemen, wherever it may be, there is poverty, there is women, children who don't have a means to be able to live. This is reason alone for you to be able to donate today.
Ahsant. Mullah Ali, Yasir, just a final thought from you?
The one thing I just wanted to say is behind us right now, as you said, Brother Minhan, that woman, that mother, that sister, that grandmother even, she has nothing. She's blind. Her son sold everything he had just to go and fight to protect these shrines that you touched upon, Brother Minhan. But this is someone's mother. How would it hurt to see your mother be like this woman. Blind, having no one to go to, no one to give them food. They are living off bread, brothers and sisters. This has broken my heart just looking at her, seeing how helpless she is.
Ahsant, Brother Yasser, Jazakallah khair. Brothers and sisters, we are going to end the show right there, but the phone lines are on your screens, 0203 515-0199 and 0203 515-1122. Donate now so that you can walk side by side with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi into Jannah as he carries you through those heavenly gates. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
This mother of two martyrs who got killed protecting their country is left today with no support. For the past 7 years, she has been struggling to provide the necessities of life for her family and receives scarce amount of money from the government. Recently, her home, which houses her and 19 members of her family, including her son, orphaned grandchildren, and widowed daughter-in-law, got burned, and the situation deteriorated even more.
يعطونا هاي الراتب، هاي البنية 300 وويا هاي عود للقاصرين قصوهين، وهذا اللي هنا العايشين بيهن، والله ما يجيبني منها راس الشهر. من يجون أهل الطيبين أهل الرحم للطيبين يودونا هالطحينة هالشكرة جاي وأنا داري بيهم من الشهر راس الشهر أقضيها دين من الحبايب من الخيرين من اللي يودي لي مؤسسة الطحين من الصديق من صدغان ابني. أنا هيك قضيت هاي 7 سنين، هاي 7 دخل بيه. والله العظيم والله العظيم لا مكرمة ولا مرحمة، الشاهد الله والحسين كل شيء ما شفت. كل يوم أصبح ميتة، كل يوم أقول الموت اللي يجيني وياخذني، لأن أباوع لي تاماي نتريق نتعشى ما نتغدى. الشاهد الله وأهل البيت لا طونا مكرمة لا طونا مرحمة لا طونا كل شيء ما طونا، وأنا مرة كبيرة. أسأل أهل الطيبين وأهل الرحم وأهل الغيرة، لأن أنا طيت ولدي استشهدوا في سبيل الله إن شاء الله وعلى درب الحسين، ونخيت لهم وقالوا لي يوم تنخينا على درب الحسين نروح لا تبكين ورانا ولا تذبين ماي وراني. وأنا قاعدة هسه مستقرة وراسي عالي وأسأل الله وأهل البيت الشيعة أمير المؤمنين كل الشباب إن شاء الله أدعي لهم يوميا من الصبح، وأنا هلا قاعدة تشوفوني وهذا حالي.
Her second son Muhammad had sold his phone and went in debt just so he could buy military clothes and afford to go and fight for his nation. Upon his death, she faced many challenges that she had not expected.
أخير واحد باع موباينه هذا محمد رجل هاي البنية أبو ال4 ولد، باع موباينه وراح بيه. اي والله وحق راس الحسين اللي ما شرب ماي باع موباينه وراح بيه، واروح ماي بيدي واركض وراهم امشي وراهم من الشارع للتبليط. والله العظيم الدينة ندين 200,000 وجهز روحه بيه من الولاية الشاهد الحسين. وقال لي يوم ابرين الذمة انا منقبض راتب، قال لي هذا ابو الدكان هذا ابو المحل قدامنا، قال له عينك على امي وعينك على جهالي من يشترون سجل على راتبي. والله شاهد الله ما عندي وارد عدل عقب راتبهم هذا اللي يجي، هذا نسى 100,000 وقطعوهن. والشاهد الله وداحت الحسين ومن وقف كل عراقي على كرسي قعد، واول انتخابات انتخبتهم خذيت نسواني وجناني وانتخبتهم. قلت لهم راح العزيز ودن العز منا لاولكم احنا عايشين.
As her health is deteriorating daily, she is getting worried about her orphaned grandchildren, whose future is unpredictable.
والله منيتي الدار وليدات الشهيد، وانا عساني هسه اموت بعد شويه اموت. وليدات الشهيد والدار ترى بالعباس وفاضل كل شيء ما عندنا، يشهد الحسين يا كيس الطحين من يجي، يعني احنا 7 أيام كيس الطحين يكتنا نخبز لهم، اقعد انا اخبز لهم اريقهم واغديهم واعشيهم، وهاي من تطلع لما نتغيب من يجون من المدرسه ندرسهم نلبسهم نغسل لهم، شو نسوي؟ هذا اللي بيدي. وانا مره طايحه سكر وضغط وتضخم صار عندي من وراء ولدي بالدم، والله وعيوني عمل ما اشوف بيهن. هذا اللي عندي، ساعدوني.